Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to mute people. I'm going to show you how to mute yourself and mute other people. So in the Vivox documentation, we're over here, mute functionality, mute a user. So to mute yourself is pretty simple. I think this is no longer the case, is transmitting session. I guess we'll show you that first. So this is how you mute yourself right here. So you're going to need the client, you're going to need to pass in a client. This one's too simple, I'm not even going to redo it. So you don't even have to call it this, you can just call it local mute self if you want, it's up to you. Call it whatever you want. You're going to pass in a client. I put Vivox Unity here because a lot of libraries use the client and there might be conflictions. And then right here you get the client. We're checking to see if it's muted. If it's not muted, or if it is muted, we go to false, else we mute ourselves. And so it's a toggle. It just happens automatically. We don't have to pass in a bool in here up top saying is muted or whatever. We don't have to do that because I'm handling all this right here. So it just handles itself, which is easier. And yeah, I'll show you what did I do. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. It's very simple to do. So basically it's just this right here, but this is the full implementation on how to mute yourself. So copy and paste it and it'll work. Let's see how did I implement it? Find all references. Alright, so right here, so I'm calling this class Vivox Mute. That's where that's the class I'm in right here, Vivox Mute. And then right here I'm calling it toggle mute self. So this you can apply this to a button basically. So when you click the button it'll call this, and then the method will just do everything, and you're passing in the main client. And up top here, my main client is just client equals new client. So I've shown this in previous videos, how to make the client and initialize it. So now let's go to the little harder part where you want to mute other people. So this is how you mute people right here. So if you go to mute another or specific user, so this is all you're doing. I basically copied this code and made it. I didn't really change much, so I gotta give Vivox some credit here. They explained that one pretty good. So I guess we'll type this one out, give you better understanding. I'm using var, so a lot of the times if you don't know what you need, then sometimes it's just better to use var. Now let's what are we doing? Okay, so participants equals so a channel session. So you're gonna want a method mute remote user. You're gonna want to pass in username to mute, basically spell it out so it's easy to understand. Username to mute, and then channel session participants. We're gonna take that channel session, get all the participants. So right here it says it's a I-read-only dictionary of string and iParticipant, and this is the same thing, string iParticipant. Yeah, but now we're going to create another string. So that's username to mute, and then we're going to say participant to mute. It's a little long, but we can read it. And so right here where it says SIP user username domain, so the issuer and the domain, you get that from your the developer portal, and it's just your information domain, and then token issuer is the issuer. Yeah, okay, so basically, so what they did for the muting is they're using the SIP address. So it's if you go down to server API reference guide in the Unity general documentation, Unity, and then uniform resource identifiers. This kind of explains what they're looking for. So they want you to pass in this. And so me is basically where you're going to put the user to mute. And then all this, the issuer, and then this is the domain that comes out of right here. So there's the issuer, and then there's the domain. So, but to make it more, I guess, generalized, if you're in the same channel, basically the developer should be the same. It should be the same developer key. So we're just gonna get it from the channel. So I'm gonna go equals. We're gonna do string interpolation. That's what the $sign is. It allows me to put a string in here. It allows me to put in a variable. So we're gonna go channel session channel. We're gonna get the issuer from the channel, and the issuer that is responsible for authorizing access to this channel. So that same issuer has authorized access for everyone that's in that channel. So that's why we want to get that. Just to make it easy, we'll do a, do we want a space? No, we don't want a space. So we want to follow this format. So after the issuer, we're going to have a dot. So let's do this part first, SIP, and then that little 3 dots right there. So we'll go SIP. That's not a colon period. And then what else do we need? The issuer. So we got the issuer in these brackets. After those brackets, we want another dot. So we'll put that right there, another dot, and then this will be the username to mute name. So username to mute. That's basically their display name. So you don't want to use their name, you want to use their display name. And just for example, let's say channel session channel. Actually, that's not a good. We'll go channel session dot parent dot login session ID. So that's basically getting the account ID and an iLogin session. So that's the person that's logged in. So the person that owns the channel. And so you want their display name, not the name. So the name is basically going to return a uniform resource identifier, a URI. That's what the name is going to return. But if you choose display name, then it's only going to return their name. So if their name is John, that's all it's going to return. But if you choose the name, then it's going to return this whole URI, the whole SIP address, and you don't want that, at least for this use case. So we'll go username to mute, and then after that you also put a dot. As you can see right here, it's kind of weird, but they have a dot after your name, and then it's at, and then this will be the whatever your domain is. Ours are probably all the same. Maybe it varies by country. I don't know. Could vary by year. Like if we all signed up in 2020, then we might have the same domain. I don't know. It's probably by country though, or by region or something. But who knows? Okay. What am I doing? Oh yeah, the domain. So we're gonna get that from the channel session as well. Channel session channel, and then domain. Sure. Dot domain, and I forgot to put the at right here. So dot at, we got dot at, and then the domain. So there's that. What else we got right here? We can delete that. And then you're gonna, so the participants right here, this is basically a dictionary. So we're gonna look through the dictionary and see if it has our user. So if participants has the participant to mute, we're gonna go local mute, And it says use this to silence or unsilence this participant for the currently connected user only. So let's say I logged in and I'm going to use this method to mute someone in the channel only for myself. So if there's other people logged in, they'll still hear the person you just muted. You're only muting this for yourself, for your benefit, or for the user's benefit that doesn't want to hear the person that's annoying them. Okay. So it looks like right here I'm checking to see if they're in audio. So if they're basically my bad. If they're in audio, basically if they're in an voice channel, if they're just in a text channel, then this won't even work because they're not in a voice channel. And then we're checking to see that we're not. If participants user to mute, username to mute is self. So right here, this is basically without the exclamation mark. It's like, and we're checking to see if we are self, but we want to see if we're not self. So we're going to put the exclamation mark. So we're looking to see if this participant is in an audio channel and if we're not ourselves, basically. So if we're not ourselves and we're not, and we are, if we are in a channel and we're not ourselves, then we're going to mute. So do another if statement. If participants username to mute dot local mute, and that basically means if I'm muted right now, then we're gonna unmute me. So participants username to mute dot local mute equals false, and then else I'm just gonna copy this. And so it's saying if we're muted, we're gonna unmute ourselves or unmute that person. So if we're not muted, we're gonna go straight to this else statement and we're gonna mute ourselves. We're gonna mute this person. Yeah, that's basically it. You can always do another else down here, and I would recommend it just so like let's say you're trying to mute yourself right here, fail to mute. That's basically, we want that. We want to know. It's a nice little error. So username to mute. So yeah, that's basically it. You can add this right here if you want. You don't have to. This everything up from right here. This is perfectly fine. This is all you need. Yeah. So that's how you mute yourself and how you mute someone else. And that's the end of this video.